So if you watched last Nintendo's Nintendo Direct, then you will know they teased one of their very biggest franchises coming to the Nintendo Switch, and that game is Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Is coming to the Nintendo Switch. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about everything Super Smash Bros. And talking about everything I want to talk about the upcoming Super Smash Bros. Games, because if you didn't already know, I am a huge Super Smash Bros. Fan. I pretty much played everyone in the series outside of the first one. I played the first one not around the time it released and not the time it was hot, so I have played it, but I don't really have any memories of that game and everything. I really started with Melee, and I loved Melee, and then I transitioned to Brawl, and then I played Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U. Yes, I played both those titles, and I owned both those titles, and now it's very exciting that we are finally getting a proper one on the Nintendo Switch. We all knew it was going to happen sometime, maybe not this year, but next year or the year after. We knew Super Smash Bros. Was coming to the Nintendo Switch because that is one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, so why would they not port it to the Nintendo Switch? And if you look at Nintendo's history, of course, every single console Nintendo has made outside of their handhelds has gotten Super Smash Bros. So why not put it on the Nintendo Switch? It is a system seller, and it is a very big franchise, and I'm very excited about it. Now, you will remember in the last Nintendo Direct, Nintendo did announce that that game is going to be coming out sometime in 2018. Now, we don't have a solid release date for the game quite yet. We only have a 2018 placeholder. Is it going to be coming holiday 2018? That would make sense because most really big games come out the holiday season. So it would make sense that that game should come out in the holidays where people are buying gifts, that people are buying consoles, yada yada yada. You know the deal. So it would make sense. But then there's also another theory out there. The other theory out there is it might be debuting with Nintendo's online service coming out in September, and it would make sense because they would want to release their online service with a big hard-hitting game, because right now they don't have, as far as I know, they don't have anything to really release their online service with. They can use other games, and they already have games out there that you can play online with. But if they were to release Super Smash Bros. With the online service, it would actually give more people incentive to actually subscribe to their paid online service. So why wouldn't they do that? It would make sense. So it could be coming September, or it could be coming November or December as well. So it's really hard to tell when it's coming, but supposedly it's coming 2018 anyway. And in that teaser that we got from the Nintendo Direct, the teaser actually showed characters coming to the Switch. The new character that was teased in that teaser for Smash Brothers, it did show that the Inklings from Smash Brothers are coming to the Nintendo Switch, and that is actually very exciting news that we are going to be getting that. And then the rumors start piling up everywhere on the internet. Is this game going to be a new game? Is this game going to be a port? Because as we know, the Nintendo Switch is stuck in a rock and a hard place. It left off where the Wii U failed, so it makes sense that Nintendo would just port these games, port Super Smash Bros. Wii U over to the Nintendo Switch and call it a day. But honestly, if you're to ask me right now, I think that there's some concrete evidence that this game's not going to be a port of Super Smash Bros. On the Wii U on the Nintendo Switch. It's still likely, but I think it's almost very unlikely at this point. Let me explain why. First of all, the teaser was very, very hype, and that teaser just looked too hype. And I think if they were to release a Super Smash Bros. Remastered for the Switch like they did some of their other games from the Wii U, it just wouldn't make sense. People would be disappointed. They would be all hyped up for these new Inkling characters, and then they're playing them in the old Super Smash Bros. 4 format, and honestly, I don't think that would make too much sense. Another thing that I'm pretty sure pretty much clarifies that this is going to be a new game and not just a remaster of Super Smash Bros. 4 is the fact that they are doing a tournament at E3 for Super Smash Bros. Why would they want to do a tournament for an old game that they already done a tournament at E3 a long time ago, back when Super Smash Bros. 4 came out, or Super Smash Bros. Wii U? So that just would not make sense. You go to E3 and then you're watching these players get all excited, you're watching everything, and then they say, bum bum ba, it's Super Smash Bros. Remaster, and then you're playing that old game. They could still be playing that old game, don't get me wrong, and I could be wrong, or they could be playing that old build, and then at E3 they could say, well, well, guess what? You're gonna be getting a whole new Smash Brothers game. But honestly, that just does not make sense. Honestly, them playing an old game on stage and then them showing off a new game. What I think is gonna happen is they're gonna be playing the new Super Smash Brothers game, and then they're gonna be talking about it at E3. So I think it's gonna be a whole brand new game. Honestly, if you're going to ask me what do I prefer, do I prefer a remastering or do I prefer a new game? Honestly, for me personally, I know some fans of some other Super Smash Brothers games might disagree, and you might get some hate, and you might hate me for saying this, but honestly, I don't care if it's a remastering of 4, because I thought 4 was perfect in my eyes. I know the go-to Smash Brothers game will always be Super Smash Brothers Melee. People like how fast that game works, people like the mechanics of that game, so I can see where a lot of people probably disagree with me and want a whole new experience from Smash Brothers. If we do get a whole new Smash Brothers game from Nintendo, then I'm A-okay with that as well, because you don't really know what the future holds, and you don't really know how it's going to play until you play it. So saying we're getting a new one and not really wanting a new one just doesn't make sense at all, since you don't know what the new one is even going to be about. You don't even know how the mechanics of the game are going to be about. Overall, I'm just very excited that Super Smash Brothers is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and we are going to be getting a host of new characters, and anything is possible. One thing I am very excited about, which the Super Smash Brothers series since Brawl has been plagued with, is the fact that Nintendo's online service has been very, very bad. So if they put it on the Nintendo Switch, then the Nintendo Switch is probably going to have better online connection, since we all know that they are revamping their online infrastructure coming September, and we are going to have to start paying for their online service. And since we have to start paying for their online service, most likely, it could be wrong, and we could be all tricked, and it could be a big fail, but most likely what's going to happen when we start paying for online, we might get dedicated servers, we might get voice chat through the Nintendo Switch. Overall, our experiences might be better, and that's one thing that plagued the Super Smash Brothers series since Brawl. We never had stable online connection. We would always get interrupted. I remember back during the Brawl days, Brawl was so bad online, I couldn't even play it, and I thought it was just my internet connection back in the day when that game came out, but apparently a lot of other people were complaining how bad the game ran online when it came to Super Smash Brothers Brawl. So this should fix up that. So that's one thing I am glad that they actually moved it to the Nintendo Switch as soon as possible. The Switch is only about a year and a half old, excuse me, and since the Switch is only a year and a half old, I'm pretty surprised that they're throwing Super Smash Brothers into the fire and flames right now as quickly as they are. But that's good, because I don't want the Super Smash Brothers series to be stuck on the Wii U any longer, just due to the bad online infrastructure. Anyway, those are some of my thoughts and things about the Super Smash Brothers series coming out for the Nintendo Switch. Outside of that, we really don't have any more information about the game, so we don't know how the game's going to play. We don't know any more characters. We don't know anything about the game at all besides that little teaser, and that teaser really wasn't enough to really go by. We'll have to probably wait until another Nintendo Direct, or most likely E3. 100% sure they're going to be talking about Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is going to be their main big deal at E3 this year. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News signing out.